What is up, everybody? It is your boy Nakari, Weebs Edgy, or Nakari if you prefer, and I may prefer Nakari myself because, man, that is a mouthful. Anyway, we're going to be discussing something non-anime related, but something that has a huge special place in my heart. It is the show called Smallville. Now, this show went on from 2001 to 2011, and I gotta say, this show, for me, and for many people growing up back then, see, the show came out literally as I was born. Like this, like for many people, this is the definitive origin story of Superman. But I see it as more than that. We follow the story with young Clark Kent, Lana Lang, Chloe Sullivan, and Pete Ross, and Lex Luthor, and Lionel Luthor, and Jonathan Kent, and Martha Kent. You know, you get the gist of it. This story went from the origins and the beginnings, humble beginnings I might add, of Clark Kent, otherwise known as Kal-El. And from season 1, it was pretty much just a freak of the week. Same with season 2, but towards season 3, we got more of a... Basically, it was him becoming and accepting the destiny that is to come. And for a while, he faced trials and tribulations to become the one and only Man of Steel himself, Superman. And this story holds a special place in my heart, not just for the kick-ass opening. Like, god dang, bro, can I just say it, man? This opening kicked ass, bro. And again, me, growing up at the time, I never watched it because, again, I was literally growing up with the show. And though I've been watching this show for a long time, I've rewatched it a total of almost 4 to 5 times, I believe. And each time I watch it, I stay on the edge of my seat through each season, learning Clark Kent get more and more powers, becoming the Red Blue Blur, becoming the Blur, and then later known as Superman with the final episode. But there's always been something that I've loved about the show above all else. It's building and reimagining the mythos that is Superman, updating the status quo, if you will. Because it wasn't just an origin story of Superman. It was not just that. It was a literal story of Superman. Meaning that it went from enemies such as meteor freaks all the way up to General Zod himself. And then later on it introduced so many concepts like Bizarro Clark Kent, Doomsday, a really big story. And I feel like season 9 perfectly paid homage to Superman's return after the death of Superman, even though he never really died in the series besides those few other times that we will not name. Anyway, point is, the homage I'm speaking of was the fact that he became the Blur instead of the Red Blue Blur, and this transition was a result to the fact that he realized that human beings are flawed, that they are not perfect, and his Kryptonian nature outweighed the human side of him that Jonathan and Martha Kent tried to drill in his head for literally the entirety of his life. That he is more than just Kal-El, that he is more than just Krypton. He is his own person. He is Clark Kent. But due to the death of James Olsen, he went to a darker side of his life, literally and figuratively. But I did like the fact that he wore the S, and it was really a almost full circle event for Smallville. It was, to me, that was like, damn, he's almost Superman. But yeah, and the show will give you so many teases of him becoming Superman. This is like, god darn, foreplay to the max. Like, just let this man be Superman already. And like, the part I really enjoyed about season 9 was the fact that it delved into the Kandorians, which was always a pivotal role in Superman's origin story and his mythos alone. It gave them more of a humanizing experience for them to not, because what I expected when I saw the Kandorians, when I saw Zod in his real body, by the way, and not just Zod Lex or Lex Luthor Zod or whatever. Anyway, what I'm trying to make it, I thought it was going to be cut and dry. They were all going to have Kandorian, Kryptonian superpowers. They were all going to be fucking max overdrive and basically a whole apocalyptic Kryptonian oasis. But it was different. They didn't have their powers due to the blue kryptonite that Jor-El put inside of the healing matrix or whatever you want to call it. And it was very, very interesting and very humanizing and very satisfying to see Zod in all of his glory and gain his Kryptonian powers towards the end of the season. And season 9 for me was pure comic book bliss, bruh. I'm gonna say this now. From the first episode into the final 2 episodes, everything came full circle. The past, the present, the future even. It even ended in the future, and it was amazing. What else can I say? Smallville shaped my future as a fan of comic books. When I'm telling you, when I think of Superman in the comic books and movies, I think of this origin story. I think of 10 years of this story in Clark Kent's life. I don't think of any other Superman. You can have your Henry Cavills. Yeah, you can have your even your Brandon Routh. By the way, I love Brandon Routh. By the way, not hating on him. He really came back into the fold in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Anyway, you have your Henry Cavills. You have your Brandon Rouths. You have your Reeveses. But this is my Superman. This is my Tom Welling Superman. He has given so much to the community. And granted, the series finale was awesome, by the way. But the only flaw, and the many other flaws, is the fact that we never saw him in the full blue and red spandex suit. The Man of Steel himself. We haven't seen that yet to this day. Like the Crisis on Infinite Earth really disappointed me when it came to Tom Welling. I know part of it was kind of his choice. The only reason why he agreed to it was that he didn't have to wear the suit, if we really want to be honest. But anyway, despite that, Smallville, I never really cared about the suit that much. I've cared that, yes, because to be honest with you, as long as he was in red and blue, it didn't really bother me at all. And like I said, season 9 was a great homage to the return and death of Superman, because again, Superman wore black for when he came back, and I really appreciated that they really did pay like a good homage to that by having him stay in black for the entirety of the season until he decided to shed the weight of the death of James Olsen to fully encompass what it is to be a symbol of hope. I mean, granted, the worst outfit I ever seen him in was the zip-up jacket with the S on it. Don't get me wrong, it was badass looking at the time for CW. And I get that they couldn't get him in a suit yet, even though I would love the fact that, because think about it, every season encapsulated him perfectly, but I really would have loved to see, this is my personal opinion now, for season 10 to have him in the suit at all times, you know? Not fully emerging from the shadows, but at least fully encompassing him being Superman, but not coming out of the shadows yet. I feel like that would have made a really satisfying end to the story if he was just fully Superman for the entirety of season 10. Granted, it's a little selfish for me to say that, and yeah, it may have been asking a bit much, but I feel like it would have been perfect. But again, I must say, Smallville was the perfect origin story and conclusion to the Superman story. Because after the season 10, we already know what he went on. We already know the adventures he made. We already know the friends that he made and said, even introduced the Legion of Superheroes, for God's sake. Come on, what can you ask for? This show was an amalgamate, even had a young version of the Justice League. This show was freaking amazing. Growing up until this day, this is the only Superman show I can always see myself falling back on. This Superman will always be, and forever will be, my Superman. This is my story that I enjoy to watch from years ago when I started it all the way to now. I can appreciate it. And I just gotta say, Smallville was indeed the perfect Superman story. And I know there's many out there. There's many different adaptations, but this will always be mine. My adaptation that I prefer, that made me happy to be a fan of comic books, to be a fan of Superman. He is to this day my favorite character, next to Superboy himself. I know, weird, right? Superboy's my favorite character, but he's more humanizing. Anyway, point is, I hope you enjoyed this little retrospective, this little review on Smallville, if you will. I enjoyed the little no flights, no tights thing, because it really did ground him literally. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and leave your favorite Smallville moment in the comments below. And see y'all guys in the next video. I really enjoyed putting this together. It was really fun. I'm not gonna lie. So I finally got to tell my story on Smallville. Granted, I wanted it to be bigger, but you know, space on this phone be crazy. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, guys. Like I said, Smallville was my favorite show. Is my favorite show to this day. Best CW ever made. And so yeah, see you guys later to the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, like I've been saying like a billion times now. And yeah, see you guys later. And yeah. Somebody save me with the subscriber count. Ooh, child.